Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the workshop for the budget cycle for the 2026-27 year. Um, Maria, what,
There's no one signed up to speak.
there's no one signed up to speak? Okay. Is there any specific formalities we have to go through?
We can go straight to the budget.
Okay, we'll do that.
Do we have invocation?
Yes, it's invocation. I'll read the invocation.
Okay.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we are gathered here today to form judgments and make decisions that will affect the lives of those committed to our charge. Please give us wisdom and understanding. Guide our decisions. May they be fair, just, and merciful. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. We'll go ahead and get started. We do have a quorum this evening. Councilman Burton, Hernandez, and Eversol are here. Not present is Mayor Johnny Rodriguez and Mrs. Molly Weaver. Maria, yes, we can do what you've got to do.
Okie dokie. So if you go on page number 1, you can see that we did manage to balance the budget. Okay, we did some cuts here and there, and we were the last budget that we had worked out. It was 250,000, I think, over budget, but we were able to bring it to balanced budget. Okay, we even were able to put in contingency 30,000, so which is good. We can go to page 2 and see our revenues. The ad valorem tax, yes, is going down by 5%, and you see that we're losing 1,500 on that from property taxes. Sales tax is coming up 3%, and those are the predictions from our sales tax experts. Everything else hasn't changed much. If you can see, if you have any questions on this page, please let me know.
May I be
But
recognized?
we have
Yes, sir.
been very okay.
Oh, where were these cuts made that got us up to the?
We'll get there when we come to those pages. I'll let you know where the
Okay.
cuts were.
Just real quick for formalities, just get my attention. There's no need to ask to be recognized. Just get my attention and we'll recognize you accordingly.
Thank you.
We're on page 3 now. Those are the permit licenses and fees revenues. Again, if you have any questions on that, let me know.
Under other revenues, what falls under that category?
Other revenues, anything else? Where is that one at? Let's say if we sold something from a surplus item here, that's where we will put the money we receive. Sometimes if somebody gives us money, donates money to the city, we can allocate it on that
Okay.
line item. No question on page 3. Page 4. We have added the park reservations. Um, As you know, we will be doing a lot of renovations to the park. And right now, we just put 2,000 for park reservation, and that's just for the gazebo area. We're hoping we'll get more of that at the end of the year, but that is very, we just put a low amount there since we're gonna be having the renovation.
What page is that on?
That's page 4.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, I think I mentioned this one time with you, when I'm looking at the budget and, we've got all these great projects that we have planned that we have to have a portion that we pay. I mean, I don't know where that money's gonna end up coming from. When we mentioned the parks, we had the 50,000 we did the, tree cuttings and we were, kind of thrifty with all that kind of stuff. But I don't know where we're gonna make up that 20% on the 500,000 or
No, that's gonna be closer to 50%.
to 50%?
Yes,
So we're gonna have to come up with 500,000?
yes.
We're,
And you see that that's under capital improvements.
okay, so we're pulling money for capital improvements all onto the park itself, or I'm not understanding where our portion of the park with, we've got so many hands in the till right now. Hillcrest, that's gonna be a bond or
That's gonna be a certificate of
yes, a
obligation.
C of O,
Mhm.
yes, or not a C of O, but for like our portions on the, that we paid on the road, have we paid Crestview off yet?
Yes, that's
so-
taken care of.
So all 3 phases are paid
Mhm.
for and those are
Yes.
clear.
Mhm.
We've got fire wanting 3 firemen that we have to pay a matching fund. I think Chief Cavazos had mentioned that he was able to get officers without doing a matching fund. They'll do 100%.
So nothing's been finalized yet, but we're putting in for what's called the Biden grant, and it's 100% funded with no match from the city. So
Okay.
we backed out of the COPS grant because when we finally started entering the numbers, it was going to be too expensive in the long run for the city. So we went ahead and backed out of that grant request that we had initially started. And then that led us to the Biden grant, which will give us 100% with no match from the city for 3 years to also include matching equipment for them. So that's what we're in the process right now of pursuing, and we have to have it in by the end of the week.
Okay. So then we've got a match on the Rogiers. And then when are we planning for Novak Park?
Novak Park, we're gonna be submitting the application for a grant next year. That
Okay.
way it allows us time to finish the phase 1 of Rogers Park and also seek for donations to match, to have our match. That way, when we apply for the grant, we already have money for a matching fund on that.
And we're reaching out to business
Banks and business owners, anybody
lottery
that has
winners.
excuse me? Wealthy residents.
Okay. For right now, that's all I got.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maria, I have a question on the transfers in. Like, it looks like we've had transfers,
What is the page?
page 4. For impound and auction, but in 2027, we don't have anything proposed?
No, usually what happened before, they will transfer money from there to pay something in the general fund, and then they
Oh,
will transfer it back when the
Gotcha. Okay,
taxes
thank
got
you.
here. Mhm. So
gotcha.
we-
Okay, so that's
hopefully
not
we
something
don't
we
have
planned
to.
for, but yeah, okay, I
Yes.
gotcha. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Any other questions on page 4?
May, I- if I may?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is there somewhere in here for our, I see that we're showing for Menendez's office, uh,
What
I-
page are you on?
I'm on page 4.
Okay.
Wonderland office rent.
Mhm.
Do we put anything on there for our portion of, maybe I just don't see it, the, Spirit?
Yeah, that's included there.
Is that just
Uh,
other revenues?
Other revenues,
Okay.
Spirit of Halloween. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Page 5. We're gonna start the expenses for this coming year. For council events, put 3,000, and that just for any event that y'all decide that is not on the budget, on the city events item down here. The city events, that includes Christmas and any other event that we already have on the calendar. Council events is like maybe coffee with the council, things like that that you want to have during the year. Administration, that salary include a 3% COLA increase across the board. Other things that change, let me see. The medical insurance is gonna go up a little bit. We're shopping for a better medical insurance, and we're gonna go with Texas Health Insurance. That's through TML instead of having the broker. Um, we see that it's gonna look like it's gonna increase, but then with the savings of having a broker, it's gonna balance out. The broker was charging us a little bit too much for no service provided. So removing the broker will give us a better coverage on the health insurance for the employees. Any questions?
Maria, real quick, under city events,
Mhm.
do we have a separate line item for the jazz festival?
Yes, sir.
Further down? Okay.
Yes.
So this is just for unplanned events or semi-planned events?
Semi-planning events like Christmas or Easter event that we had,
Okay,
things like that.
thank you.
Are we planning to do the parade this year?
Yes, and that's going to be on the agenda for next Monday.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions on this page?
I'm good.
Travel and training, are we trying to narrow those in scope down to like TML events or regional, or the,
For council, I think there was a amendment to the ethics ordinance that said the council could attend TML trainings, but anything outside that scope, it will have to be approved by the council.
okay, thank you.
Page 6, this is information technology, municipal court, and all the expenses that come with municipal court. Again, we're very conservative with this, just increasing the 3% COLA increase for municipal court employees. And I don't see anything out of the,
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, sir.
questions.
For hardware and peripherals, are we good on our computers and stuff? I mean, I know some of them are getting up there in age and stuff. Does the internet company that we use, do they upgrade us, or do we have to pay for those out of pocket?
We have to pay for those out of pocket. Whenever there's a computer down, we have to replace it, and that comes out of pocket. That's why you see the big amount in there.
Thank you.
On the same page on training,
Mhm.
training and travel, we have a small number there. Is that to get the staff to their credentialing that they need, or is there credentialing required for that?
It's not required for them to have our credentials, but I am encouraging them to take advantage of taking some training to get certified. Always, if an employee is certified on their task,
Hmm.
it's a benefit for the city and a benefit for the employee.
Okay.
So I we had talked about this in the
Mhm.
past. If it's okay with the council, I can increase that amount because there's 3 people in court,
Mhm.
and that will be beneficial for them to be able to go to their trainings.
Being that it's such a critical component of the city, if there's a way of moving monies around to make sure that they get credentialed or whatever they need, I would definitely support that.
Okay, and especially being a legislative year, they will have to go to legislative update also to be able to learn all of the changes in laws. How much do you want me to add there?
Hmm. I guess if you had 3, you had a 500. Mhm.
I think it will be good to have 500 per employee. There's 3, so maybe 1,000 more.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Go to page 7, that's the police department. And this is one of the departments that got a little bit cut. We put just 20,000 for their training, travel and training. So in case they need a little bit more, we have to be creative and see where we can move money around in their department. The other item that I was questioned about is the item 510290. They're asking for gas mask and lock boxes, and the chief can elaborate a little bit more on this.
So the gas masks that the department currently have are all expired, and they reached their life expectancy, and so we're going to start seeing cracks in them and whatnot. So I've explained to Maria that we need to upgrade these gas masks for the officers for their PPE equipment. We also do not have any PPE antigen injectors for the officers as well. So if we do have a chemical exposure, the officers are not going to be able to treat themselves on the scene, and that has to be done within a matter of minutes of being exposed. So that, in combination with lock boxes that the vehicles don't have, or their emergency equipment, so that nobody breaks into the vehicles and, for instance, would take a patrol rifle or any of the other equipment that they carry in their vehicles.
So this number here, 30,000, would be sufficient for the mask
and the boxes?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to work that out, but I'm trying to be conservative and help the city out and try not to overbear them with these expenses.
That's fine. I'd like to get a number for the additional PPE that we're going to need so we can see that. Or does that is it encompassed in here?
Yeah, that's encompassed in
Okay.
there. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Any questions on page 7?
I know we've discussed salaries quite a bit, so I'm very familiar where we're at and why that number is what it is.
Page 8, again, the salaries, 3% across the board. And it just, travel and training went up because in the past they were not taking a lot of training. They have to keep their credentials. So we're encouraging them to go to training.
Ms. Maria, being that this is part of the communications of police, is this a mandated training that they have to have?
The
Chief.
chief can respond to that.
So when you're dealing with the dispatch service system, yes, there are mandated trainings that they
Okay.
need to have. Yes, sir. And then some of that training that's mandated is it's CPR,
Okay,
instructors certification that they have to be able to
communicate.
communicate over the phone to a citizen
Mhm.
until EMS services arrive.
Okay.
Do,
Yes,
Chief,
sir.
Chief, do you have any certified people to do that training?
I got 4 certified CPR instructors, but there's a different certification for a dispatcher to
Professional. then.
instruct somebody through CPR over the phone.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody
Going-
else on page 8? Okay.
Going to page 9, that's the fire department. Again, if you see on the salaries, that will be including the 3 additional firemen. They're gonna be Chief Marroquin is applying for that grant, and that grant will cover 75% of the salary, so the city will have to cover the other 25% of each employee. So that is included there, the salaries. In the event, and that's, I hope that doesn't happen, in the event that the grant is not approved, we will come to y'all for an amendment because I feel that we do need those 3 additional firemen. They don't have to be captains, but we need additional firemen. Right now is very dangerous to send our firemen without having enough people to help. Okay. So just keep it in the back of your head. We will, he did apply for the grant, but in the event that we don't get it, we'll be coming back to y'all.
Okay. Considering that these were leadership positions, would we be hiring entry level or would we be able to classify to semi-leadership? Because the last thing I would want to see is that we have all rookie firefighters because that's what our budget allowed. I want to make sure that we're able to implement some kind of structure to where we have leadership to be able to move forward.
At this point, they would be entry level, and then once, they get settled, we can work on a promotional, to promote guys that are already in the department into leadership roles that way. A lot of the guys currently, a lot of my firemen, senior firemen, are taking classes to position themselves to be in a leadership role eventually, so.
Okay, so you have a program in place already for leadership coming up the
Yes,
ranks.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
On the budget, you see also that we included the scoop, SCBA, lease for the equipment that we'll be
Mhm.
getting soon. And also some, more equipment for the RMS, and the Mark 43 that, we'll be getting soon. There's service fee that is charged for the fire department to also take part of the Mark 43. No, the Mark 43 is
No, Mark.
the dispatch services. It's 530, 325. No. Any questions?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Does our technology cover the fire department when we get the Mark 43 for them to get their, is it an MDT type of unit?
It will now, but we have an option to get an MDT, but the guys are working off tablets. Since it's a cloud-based system, we can just continue using the tablets.
Okay.
But it is integrated with our RMS system to where they communicate, and that's kind of was the where we came into play on that, is that they had to be able to communicate with each other.
And this is one of the departments that got cut. We removed the truck from here. We put it on the under capital outlay. That way we can balance the budget. So you see that at the end, the 530, 580, that had 100,000.
Mhm.
We removed it from there and put it on there under capital outlay at the end, and you'll see it.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Anybody else for page 9? I guess we'll move over onto page 10. Community development. Yes, sir.
Question on page 10. Why is the TMRS, the retirement, jumping up kind of significantly compared to the previous year?
On page 10?
Yes.
Okay, we added one more employee
Gotcha.
on there. And that employee, it serves as a court clerk slash permit clerk. So he does dual office holding.
So is he part of the 3 people in court?
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
You okay to move to page 11?
Good.
Okay. Public Works.
This one, we added 2,000 for parks repairs. And again, it's just there in case we need any kind of repairs, but we'll be doing the renovation, so we might not need it, but we're putting it there just in case. From here until we start with the renovation, something breaks down and we need to repair it. Any questions on this?
I just want to recognize that we did add to the training and travel for that, being it's going to be a new system. I think it'd be very beneficial that our staff are very well aware of how to maintain our new equipment coming in. So that's good.
Correct.
Anybody else in Public Works? Okay. Moving on to Animal Control.
On here, we had added a little bit more than that at the beginning of this budget season. We had put 20,000 for an animal control agreement with the Bear County. But right now, we just met with them today, and they told us it's gonna take longer for them to finish their facilities. So we had put 2,500 there, just in the event we need to send some a dog or a cat to vet clinic for quarantine purposes in case it had rabies or something like that. But we're not taking any dogs,
Right.
stray animals, or things like that until we get an agreement again with the Bear County.
Okay.
Who is doing our feral cat program? Is that,
Right now, we don't have anybody doing a feral cat program.
have we looked out to I believe it's the San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition?
We will look into that to have something, that way we can start spaying and fixing those cats because they're reproducing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Saying I had a feral cat one time and I did use the coalition. They gave me I had to pay them $100 to rent the cage, but then once I got the cat fixed and back, then they gave me my 100 back. So it's just a program to make, because they have a cage to help you catch them if you can't catch the cat. I mean, it worked really well for me, and it's just a bunch of volunteer people that actually step up to the plate and have cages and things like that at their house. I drove to this lady's house, gave her the money, she gave me the cage. I took the cat in, and the feral cat, it gets neutered for free. They snip part of their ear off so that you can always recognize that the cat's a feral. And then, I mean, it worked really well, and I still have the cat in the backyard. It's doing fine.
Good. We'll have Joe look into that.
Cool. Thank you. Anything else on animal control? Okay. Moving on over to economic development and public affairs.
We don't have anything on this department because we don't have a economic development director, executive director.
Okay. So we're done with economic development, moving over to shared expenses.
Legal expense fees, it went up, so we, instead of 150, we put him at 130, just being very frugal on that. Hopefully, we'll not get that much. The other change, let me see where.
So we're up 50 grand on legal services.
Yes. For the next fiscal year.
Is that pretty much in because of the litigation going on?
Yes, that's pretty much that because, and also because we've been receiving a lot of open records requests that requires legal advice. So that is in part of litigation and part of, just other items.
Do we charge for those requests and staff time?
We charge, there's a legalities where we can charge depending on how much it's going to take us to do that research, but we cannot just charge because we pull a record. It has to be something that we can prove that it took us that much time, but it's not that much either. It's like $15 an hour.
Okay. Do they get that information on a in paper, or do they get that information on computer?
So it can be either way. We use a portal called just FOIA, and we will give notice if we have to charge them, and then they have to accept that. Once that happens, we give them a choice of coming in and viewing it, and simply viewing it, a copy, or the link. So it sends out an automatic link once it's closed, and they can use that to download their own information, a copy.
Okay, we're not printing off like a ream of paper to.
No,
To
we're trying
hand
to
it.
avoid that, and most people just use the link.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's. Mhm.
I'm sorry.
So had we not gone with all these TML claims, it would have been lower, right? Or
Exactly. It's just like any other insurance. You know, the more you use it, the more the premiums go up.
like other insurances, once they go up, they don't come back down.
Exactly. Not usually. Mhm. So, and that is it for the general fund.
Just,
So
just
as you see with zero, yes, sir.
real quick before we move on this legal services and the current litigation, do we have an estimated amount as to how much we're gonna end up spending that we need to set aside, or how do we calculate that in?
Well, there's really not a formula that we can calculate how much it would
Mm.
we're spending. We can add all the legal fees that we had so far. But if you see up to this calculation, these numbers are 132,000. That is up to the end of July. These were updated, and that's at the end of July. That's how much we have spent so far. And that is not necessarily because of lawsuit. It's also we had issues with the police department where um, we had several people doing grievances, right? What is that? Two employees, arbitration, two employees. Um, and that cost the city. So it's the same attorneys that handle these cases. And also, like I said, the open records request. There's one individual that for some reason keeps hammering open records request.
So we have the same person, just
Yes, the same person.
repetitive,
Hmm.
okay,
If I may.
sure.
The FOIA requests, the open records requests are very inundated. In fact, I have one officer that handles them for the police department, and she probably gets 10 to 20 a day.
Mhm.
So it's become a very, very high volume item for our department.
Right. And I've used the FOIA a couple of times because I want to get familiar with it, and it's a pretty good system. It's pretty accurate and pretty efficient, because what I've asked for has been minor stuff, but I'm sure if it's more detailed, it's going to take quite a bit more.
Yeah, if it's a minor item, Joe or
Detective
Sharon from
Rodriguez.
the PD department, they will handle it.
Okay.
But if it's something that is sensitive information, things like that related to the lawsuit, we have the attorneys handle it because we need to be careful what we said and what we don't. So
Right,
it
and
does-
that's why I chose to go the FOIA route, considering the climate that we're in. I just much rather go right through the source, that the path we're supposed to follow, and avoid any possibilities of anything being misconstrued.
Mhm, that is true.
Okay.
So then as this closes out the general, right?
Yes, sir.
Our big cut there was the fire truck, right?
Yes.
That's where we're making up on okay.
To balance it, you see the big zero at the bottom that balance the budget. Mhm. Under capital projects, we have the beginning fund balance. And I believe this is where we put the $100,000 for the vehicle.
Vehicle
You
outlay.
see it?
Yeah. 815, 530, 570.
Mhm.
Is that
And-
it?
And right underneath that, that's where we have our share for the park. And again, I
Okay.
know this is scary, but you know, it has to be done. Our parks have not been renovated since 1970s.
Mhm.
It's sad to go into the restrooms. You cannot use those restrooms. So we need to put money in there. not only benefits, that users of the park, but also the residents in the area. The property values are gonna go up, and there's gonna attract more younger residents to the area.
No. It's an amenity for the citizens, for their tax dollar.
Exactly, that is true.
And like we said, we're proceeding cautiously, but you're confident that we'll be able to meet the obligations and everything with these numbers?
Yes, that's why we decided to slow down on the other grant for the other park, for the Novak Park. That way we can be able to finish the renovation, that phase one renovation of Rogers Park before we start working on the other park. And you'll see that we'll have good news for the September meeting regarding funding for the Hillcrest project. So just hang on tight.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions on this?
Special revenue, we already did that.
And even though you see that there's money allocated for this or that, we're still looking for grants, and hopefully what we need to spend on items like this, it will be minimal amount. If we can find a grant for a vehicle for a fire department, then that means we just pay for the share, our portion of that grant. So we're looking into subsidizing a lot of these items. That way it doesn't cost the city much. Okay. Yeah, page 16 is just forfeitures, and that is money that's allocated for different things, but it's like restricted funds.
We don't, we don't participate in any federal forfeitures anymore, do we?
Not anymore. For page 17, we're not planning on doing any street reconstruction projects this year. This coming year is just gonna be patching, and as you know, the grant that we applied, it was a CBDG grant. That is the grant that we normally use for street projects. So we're gonna wait till next fiscal year to apply for that for the next year.
I think some of the streets that the CPI addressed back when I was on council before were Siesta and Shady View. Shady View is going to be a long one too.
I think
And
also
I don't know when or if they're going to finish Glenarm, because from Fredericksburg to Gentleman, that never got done. From Gentleman to Balcones Heights got done, but from Gentleman up to Fred, that's still the old street.
Okay.
And Siesta's bad too.
Nick, can you told me about another street that also needs fixing?
Yeah, so I drove around with the city engineer a couple months ago. He's letting me know that Ronald Lane is probably one of the next projects we should start looking at. It's the PCI score is pretty poor. CS is another one, right? I know we needed to look at North Crossroads. That one's another one that's kind of in disrepair, and that's I'm sorry, not North Crossroads, North Balcones Heights. That one's starting to pothole quite a bit. There's some heavy traffic there as well. But we are looking at streets for the next few years, and we're working with the city engineer for a capital improvement plan to make sure that we're kind of mapping out, not just next year, but the next 5 or 10 years. But there's other infrastructure projects that we also need to start looking at, such as the storm channel, sewer infrastructure. There's other things that might be a little more pressing than a road reconstruction here in the near future.
So on street CDBG grants, can you combine two streets, like if they're real short, like you know, Ronald and Siesta or Siesta and Glenarm? Or?
You cannot. It has to be a continuous boundary.
Okay.
Yep.
And you'll be able to provide us pretty much a map of what we're looking for in the future?
Yeah.
Once you get with it with the engineer?
Yep. You
Thank
got
you.
it.
Could we get a CPI for the streets, an updated CPI?
Sure.
I think that's that's part of what you're working on with
So
it.
the pavement condition index is going to be separate from the capital improvement plan.
Mhm.
So the PCI scores, which
I
is
mean,
the pavement,
PCI,
yeah,
okay.
PCI scores is going to be for all the streets and what
Okay.
condition they're going to be in. I think when we spoke to the engineer, I think that was going to be between $10,000 and $15,000. The capital improvement plan is going to be out a plan each year for what capital improvement project we need to address, not just streets, but sewer, streetlights, because our intersections are quite dated, right? Including streets, those types of projects, all infrastructure included in the capital improvement plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Just know that we're looking into all these items, sewer, the drainage channel, they need to be repaired pretty soon. So we're gonna start looking into possibly going for grants from the Texas Water Development Board or loans. There's some loans that have 0% interest, but we need to start looking into repairing all the infrastructure.
Good.
I apologize for doing this. Can I put it in reverse and go back to 15, capital layout for land on Hillcrest? How are we doing on that? It's 11/4/35/10.
Mhm. We are still in the purchase of properties. And like I mentioned at the last council meeting, I am hoping to finish with all that, the acquisition of all the properties by the end of the year, because our project was moved to 2029. So at the end of the year, I want to go to TechStat and show them where we are, because they were thinking that this was going to take us longer. So I wanted to be able to finish by the end of the year and show them, here we are. We finished this. We need to start fall 2027. That way, because we need to also repair sewer problems, sewer issues that we have on Hillcrest. So
Okay.
if we cannot begin at fall 2027, at least spring 2028, but we have to move faster than we've been moving on this.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to go
Mhm.
back.
No, that's fine.
And I guess it's all part of it. Is there anything that we can do to help expedite that or?
Well, y'all did a great job coming to the town hall meeting, because that way people were informed that we're coming. As soon as we get our one of our other studies that we're waiting, the environmental studies, when we get approved from TechStat, we'll be coming full force, and that will be coming with eminent domain to get the properties that we need for the project. We don't want to do that. That will be the last resource. But this is a project that's going to benefit everybody in the city, and not only in the city, in the county, because it's not our residents that use the Hillcrest, but it's going to be something that's going to bring, again, it's going to bring value to the city. And, we don't use the money that we were allocated. We will never be able to afford fixing Hillcrest
Right.
if we lose that money.
I can speak for myself. I prefer having you as a point person. I mean, sure, the citizens can come to us and give them your number, but I don't want too many cooks in the kitchen on this. They just come to you or Nick, and that's that way information doesn't get all skewed.
Perfect.
Okay.
Do we already have that channel set in place?
Yes, we did.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Okay. Back to
18? Still on
18?
Yeah, is that crime control? We
Yes.
already approved that, so we can skip. funds is restricted funds, whatever we received, it has to be spent for just a specific items. The HUD funds, the next page. The beginning fund balance is 434,436. As you know, a percentage of our salaries come from here. 26% comes from the HUD funds for 3 positions in administration, 4 positions in administration. And at your one of the council members asked me to provide how much we have received for the year on hotel funds. I provided a sheet showing how much we have received so far, and that is 138,714, and a net monthly average is 15,412. So if we receive that monthly average for the next 3 months, we should be finishing the year at 184,952 for hotel funds.
For the hotel. Okay.
Mhm.
That's off our one,
1 year.
no, that's off of one hotel.
Yes,
Our
one hotel.
Our one hotel.
Mhm.
Are we planning to dive into the Music Fest again? Or,
That will be up to y'all. By Music Fest, you mean the fiesta event that we had?
right,
Yeah,
right.
that will be up to the council to let us know if that's something y'all want to do.
'Cause we've already got Hispanic Trails, we've got Jazz Fest, and I think we put, was it 10,000 towards Wonder?
The Wonder Theater funds came from the Economic Incentive Fund.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
So it didn't come from here.
And that was a one-time deal.
One time.
The wonder, okay.
Uh-huh. I'm pretty sure they will come next year to us, but
Okay.
it will be up to y'all.
And just for clarification, we are not currently budgeted for another Fiesta event.
No, we're not.
So it's not in the budget.
It's
So if
not
we
in the
want it,
budget.
we'd have to vote on that.
Mhm.
Okay.
That what is in the budget is for our jazz festival. Okay, that it, and again, it will be up to y'all, but I know that the city's known for the jazz festival, so that will be wise to have. Any questions on the HUD funds? And that's about it. Let me know if you have
Salaries,
any questions
expenses.
about anything.
On page 21, 930, 916, art and culture events, $6,000. Oh, that's a Hispanic Trail?
Yes, that's a Hispanic Trail. And if you see music festival, that is the jazz festival.
Any questions on page 21, expenses? Very straightforward. Going to page 22, child safety fund, school crossing fee.
I did have a question on this, and I brought it up at the town hall.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Baskin, I think we should have some crossings at Crestview and at Shady View for
For children.
child safety.
Mhm. And we can use these funds, the school crossing funds, we can use it to do some striping or something there.
Especially if we're gonna own the equipment. Didn't you say we were gonna buy our
Yes.
own equipment? And
I was gonna mention that since we're gonna have our own equipment, we can easily stripe those areas. Right,
Yeah.
Nick?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, will you come up to the podium, please?
Thank you. Suzanne DeLeon, 323 Crestview. We had a resident come at the town hall, and she was talking about the need for a speed bump on Crestview. I live on Crestview, right next door to her, and that she has grandchildren. There's other children in the area, and pets run out sometimes. Is there any way that we could get a speed bump there? Because people race down Crestview daily, even at night, so it's pretty dangerous.
Yes, ma'am, we're looking into that and also talk to the police chief, and he's gonna be sending more police officers around that area.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Child Safety Fund. Nothing else on Child Safety Fund, page 22. We'll go on to page 23, impound fund. Chief, I know we changed the process on this to where we're doing a lot of it in-house. Is the new process working out better?
Yes, sir. It is working out much better. The revenue on the last auction was close to $40,000.
Okay.
As opposed to normally it would be 8.
Okay,
So it was a significant increase. So instead of us just advertising it locally, now we're advertising it nationwide. And
Good.
so we have people bidding online for these vehicles. It's been
And
very fruitful.
I know man hours were a concern at one time, but going this route, are man hours reduced?
Yes, yes.
Great.
And so we have a company that actually handles it for us.
Perfect. Thank you.
And just to chime on that, I know that some people have complained that they don't know when a auction is gonna be. We advertise on Facebook, on our website, and the marquee sign.
Mhm.
So by the door also, so
Right.
flyers, and then we also sometimes put it on the newsletter. So
Right.
there's always, a way
I
to.
think we've done a really good job at advertising, and the numbers speak for themselves.
Exactly.
So, thank you.
Are those,
Yes,
if
sir.
I may, I'm sorry. Are those consistent? Are they like a monthly deal, or are they like a quarterly deal, or just when we have abundance and we just need to unload?
We like to wait until the lot is completely full so that when we do have the auction, it's because we have to pay. So the more that we have in there, the more it makes sense to do it as that happens.
Makes sense. Thank
So
you.
since we've been doing a lot of these Operation Slowdown, Click It or Ticket, things that have been sponsored by TxDOT, these numbers have increased exponentially.
But on this page, on page 23, that's impound, whatever they pay to get their vehicle out.
Right.
If you go to the next page, that's the auction fund.
Okay.
If you can see, that's where a vehicle auction at the end of July, it was 48,813.
Just out of curiosity, we're still using Banus?
Yes, sir, we are.
Any questions on the auction fund, page 24? We'll move on to 25, Court Security Technology Fund. No
Just
significant.
to remind council where this money comes from, is for every person that pays a citation, there's a technology fee and a security fee. Security fee is to pay for security during court, and a technology fee, any computers, anything related to technology. But last legislative update, the legislature decided to combine those two funds. That way, smaller courts can be able to afford to buy items from both of the funds.
Okay. Anything else, page 25, Court Security Technology? We'll move on, page 26, DHS Fund. it's just pretty much the grant.
This is
This federal funds that are
federal
coming
funds
in.
that we have.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Going on to page 27, federal grant funds.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
We don't have anything there?
No.
Okay. Page 28, CDBG funds. I don't think we have much there either.
That's, we should be receiving the CBDG grant towards the end of the year, Nick, for the park. That's where we also show the CDBG grant for the Crestview Part 3.
Okay. Moving on to page 29, park funds. Not much there.
Mm-mm, no.
Okay. On page 30, economic incentive fund.
That's a fund balance that we should be having. If you see, that's where the 10,000 came from for Wonder Theater, and then the other 13,000 spent there. It was for software. It's called Placer AI that help us to determine different data around the city. It's very beneficial for different items to ask for grants and things like that, because that way we know how many people come through areas of the city.
Okay. Moving over to Economic Development Corporation, page 31. Not much there.
Not much here either.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Moving to page 32.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
On the EDC Corporation, legal services, that's for Clay. We're now paying Clay, right? Or
We don't pay Clay. The EDC hire a different attorney, George Hyde. He's
Okay.
the new EDC attorney.
okay. So is Clay out of the picture now?
Yes.
Moving on to page 32, the PEG fund.
These funds are received from cable and other providers,
Mhm.
but these are very restrictive funds for the city to have a cable channel.
Mhm.
Right now, we don't have one, and we cannot afford with that amount that we have there. So we just continue receiving them, and in the hopes that in the next legislative session, there's different. They put different rules on that. We're hoping that maybe a YouTube channel will be,
Be qualified.
approved for that. Debt service fund, we don't have any right now, which is great.
Debt services, okay. Going on over page 34, proprietary funds.
So before we go on to that one,
Yes, sir.
we've officially closed out the fire truck
Yes.
this year,
Mhm.
and we paid off Vivian.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is more like a wash, because we collect sewer fees and then we have to pay them out. But we have a good fund balance. But we still need to look for funding to be doing sewer renovation to replace all the sewers in the city. They're
And-
failing, they're old, so we'll need to be looking into that soon.
And this
Ro-
kind of,
ro-
this
yeah.
kind of shows where we're putting good money after bad on Hillcrest because it's like we're paying out and we need new infrastructure underneath the ground badly.
That's correct.
Real quick, Nick, I think we, from what I understand, we're doing infrastructure when we're doing the streets. I know we started that process.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple of years
So
ago.
every street that we've done, there's normally new sewer, new water if it's in place underground. New gas lines will work with CPS or any electric that might be underground. Typically, there's not, but new infrastructure gets put in place all around. Hillcrest is going to have everything new sewer, water. They're moving some of the poles, so Red Electric will be moved. There's going to be new gas that'll be moved out of the right away.
Cool. So just whatever streets have not been done are
Whatever
the ones
streets have
that
not been done has an existing sewer
Sewer-
infrastructure,
sewer
which is,
infrastructure, okay.
from what I've seen, is 1964, 1965 clay pipe.
Okay.
Yep.
So luckily, we don't have too many streets.
Thankfully, yes.
Thank
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on proprietary fund? Okay. Moving over to the stormwater fund. Not much there.
No, we're still adding more money there. We're gonna be looking into all the stormwater fees. That way we make sure we're collecting appropriately. Because, like I told you earlier, we need to be looking into fixing all the stormwater channels.
Okay.
So, and it has to be done pretty soon.
When we get to that point, whoever's going to be leading that project, I want to make sure that we work closely with the city of San Antonio to make sure that our flow continues to go all the way through, because I don't see us investing a whole lot of money and then their side of the channel is not being maintained to where the flow is going to back up to us. So whoever takes that, just make sure we're informed and that goes through. Any other questions, comments?
A question for
Yes, sir.
Maria. You have on here possible action. Did you want us to take action on this?
No, the action will be taken next Monday.
Okay,
You will be approving the budget, not adopting it, approving it. The
Okay.
adoption of the budget will be at the September meeting,
all right, thank you.
okay? And just real quick, also in your packet, or Joe put it on your desk, the fire department budget, I think somebody asked me for that. Council events, what we have spent in 2026, and the police department budget, okay?
I don't think I got that in my packet.
No, I think it's in the box.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Real quick. Yeah.
You were, and I apologize. Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Should have called me first because I started putting a lot more stuff down as we went along.
I remember that.
Just for a historical projection and a little bit of knowledge about what's in the police officer's contract. Our COLA has to be equal to whatever Social Security is. I believe it's written into the contract. So whatever the police department's COLA is, it has to be exactly what Social Security is. We used to try to figure out what it was, Floyd and I did, and it's so much easier. You just go out to Social Security site, and usually they announce it at middle of September, right? Something like
Yes.
that. And you'll have it, you can plug it into your budget, and you'll have the exact number that you're gonna have to work with. Of course, you'll have to decide, how you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do it for the non-contractual people, that's, up to your purview of the council. Let's see. I was looking at the hot salaries and hotel occupancy tax salaries, and it looks like it's pretty much the same as it's been all along. I thought we lost that line when we lost Lorenzo and the lady that was his assistant. Yeah, Mary Spence. Wow, what a nice lady. Yeah, and, but I guess we've put other people back in there to take care of that, right? I don't need to know who they are, but 2 positions, is that what's in there?
2 positions were removed, but then That covers 26% of 4 administrative
That's right.
positions.
Right, shared position. It's always been that way. Okay. Um, I looked at the medical line, and overall, could you tell me citywide how much medical has gone up from last year to projected, or this year to projected next year?
27%.
I was guessing 30. So that's a pretty significant jump, but I know how it works and negotiation works. You have the same people that we've had all along, right? Or do you have a different group of people working with us?
No, I'm going straight to the insurance company,
Good. That's a good deal.
saving 18,000.
Wonderful. I like that. There are a few things I wanted to bring up with y'all that's on my mind about our budget process. I think the fact that we don't have a full-time budget officer or financial director is hurting us a little bit. And that does not speak against what you do, but you have your hands full pretty much already. So if there's any way we can reestablish that to a full-time, it might be a good idea. I don't know if Floyd would ever want to go to that. He'd be probably crazy if he did, but yeah, I think it makes a big difference when you have a full-time finance director in there, because he'll be making all these meetings and he'll be hearing what you have to say. And I think that would be a good deal. One of the things I see that we're lacking on, and guys that have been around here for a while, like Jack will remember, we used to have a departmental ranking of their unfunded requirements go into the budget, okay? And I see a few heads shaking. We would rank it by the department alone, and then the departments would come in collegiately, and they would rank it as, and there's like police department would compete with fire department, and the group would say, okay, let's move this one to this one. So everybody had a buy-in on what their unfunded requirements were. What was good about this, and I was a stickler about it, was when we had an unfunded requirement come in the middle of the year, okay, if it was not an unless it was an emergency and it had to be done, if it was emergency, it came out of the wedge that we had at the bottom. If it was not an emergency, it got inserted into the current unfunded requirements that we had brought out of budget, and it would be ranked in that group, and it would reshuffle the deck on unfunded requirements, and it would be done the same way it was done with the department heads, and then department heads coming together in agreement how to set it in everybody's. I think that was a good program. What I haven't seen in a long time, and I call it a unit manning document, was what we called it in the Air Force. I don't know if we maintain a unit manning document, but we used to have something similar to that where we'd say, okay, in FY23, we had this number of authorized positions. Then we look at 24, and we wanted to stay with the same unless it was a necessary change that we had to make, and not to just arbitrarily come in and say, I need another position. It had to be approved on the manning document. That's something you might want to consider. That was all budgeting. In execution, some of the issues I see, there's no quarterly briefing by the finance department that we used to have. You remember that, Jack? Finance chair would come in and he'd say, here it is. This is how we're doing quarterly. We'd get first quarter sometime in January, by the time we had a January council meeting, and we could see how we're progressing along. You know, and what usually came up was sales tax, right? Why is sales tax only 15% in January? Well, we're always 2 months behind in sales tax anyway. But it made you aware of things that were being executed slower or faster than they should be. Because we had some breakage in administration this year. We way overspent our administration. Am I right about that? Our budget amount? We were like at 100,000 and we had 30,000 in the budget for administration expenses.
I need to go back and
Yeah.
look at that.
There
Yeah,
are different line items that.
Yeah, I think we were, but anyway, it keeps you attuned to what this thing we call city government, it's a living thing and it's breathing and it's producing data, and we need to know what that data is. I think the last time I checked, the city administrator could approve up to 25,000 on a contract. Has that changed?
No, it has-
Okay, we need to be real careful with that because I saw some things this year that made me kind of blink when I saw it, and I won't mention any particular things. One of the things that I saw this year, and it may be my perception, and I apologize, is using hot funds as a slush fund. You know, you look at hot funds right now, the balance in hot funds, and had we gone with the Visitor Center, I think the balance in hot funds is about 450,000 projected for next year. If we'd have gone with that Visitor Center, it would almost wiped out that fund. You know, and if I'm a hotel owner here, I'm saying to myself, what are you doing to put heads into beds? We've always used that rule. And if I'm not seeing something come across the table like inserts in the Texas Monthly Magazine about the city of Balcones Heights, I would get a little concerned, and I would want to say something to this city council. So that's something you might want to think about. I recently heard someone say we need to give something back to the citizens. And I understand that comment. I mean, it's nice to get something back. But let me tell you, I want to give the citizens back. I want to give the citizens Hillcrest, okay, and other things that are at the top of the list now. You know, we got to focus on this because we're looking at a significant match there. And this lady's working real hard on it, and another person too, and I can't mention her name, but she's involved in it to get that money. Okay, I'm going to switch to the EDC. That's part of our budget, right?
Yes.
I can speak about that tonight. The contract with a mall, a partnership, we're a partner in that partnership. Contracted mall says you will receive annual audited financial statements. Have we got any annual audited financial statements in the last 4 years? I didn't think so. And I don't put this on anybody, but it's a requirement of the contract. You go to the contract and look at it. We haven't got them. At least have we got unaudited financial statements? See, this is what really concerns me as a citizen. I'm going over my time. I'm sorry. Is it okay if I continue? At least we should be getting unaudited income statements, because what really puzzles me, and I've said this before, we had 6 possibilities of what's going to happen in that mall come out in negotiations. The smallest one was about $300,000 a year, which we were going to use to help pay for our debt service. And we have no idea what the mall's making. That's not financial management.
No.
You know, that's guessing.
No.
And anyway, if you're in a partnership, the partnership has to file a tax return, and it's called a Schedule K. And each partner in the partnership, I believe it's a Schedule K1 that they get. It's for filing their income taxes. We don't file income taxes, but we still should be entitled to that K1. And that K1 would tell you what the other partners, what each partner's getting based on their share. Are we getting Schedule K1s? Why not? Good question. Let's find out why not.
Right. And like you said, we had a change in an administration earlier this year, and it's progressing. Some of the items you're mentioning are in the works. We're trying to find the contract and get everybody familiar to make sure that we're moving forward. There is some things that were missed along the way, but they are being addressed. Maybe not as fast as we would like for them to be done, but a lot of these issues are being addressed, and they're moving forward.
I'm glad to hear that. And
Yes,
I thank you for your time tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I like the way you run a meeting, by the way. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? This concludes our first official meeting that we were able to have. The other two, we were not able to hold because of the lack of a quorum. I think it's imperative as elected officials that we abide by our obligation and fulfill our responsibility to the citizens and just keep the city moving forward. I think it's imperative that we do our due diligence and do our representation and make sure we're doing the right thing for our citizens. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I have a question for the city administrator. I know that the mayor is the budget officer. Is that by statute or is that by ordinance?
By statute.
By statute?
Mhm.
Okay.
What does that mean?
That means that he will have to be overseeing the budget. I will be preparing it. But, you know, since we have litigation, we cannot be meeting in person. The other next thing that he could do is come to the meetings to hear what is being put in the budget, to be able to
Yeah.
give his input.
Yes, sir.
And I'm disappointed that our budget officer hasn't made one single meeting. So anyhow, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Second, with a motion and a second. Yes, I guess we'll take a vote for it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Time? 7:24.